Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. How is everyone today? Hope you're well. Um, Everything is changing literally as we speak. We're asking, is the game off? Has it been cancelled for next Wednesday for the Madrid game? Now, what we do know is that Madrid players have gone into isolation, which means 14 days standard practice. Now, or 15 days, according to Sky Sports website that I'm just reading now, because of contact that they came into potentially with a basketball player who has been diagnosed with COVID-19. Um, I'm not sure whether there's been an official announcement yet. Maybe as I'm speaking, something will have just been announced. But there is absolutely no way, because I think Real Madrid have gone to UEFA to basically state we can't field a team. It's that simple. So the game, is it off? I would suggest it's definitely off. We'll wait for official confirmation, and what I'll do is, as this is going on now, I can only assume that things will be announced. I'll just check the website. Everything, like I said, everything is coming through. Oh, there you go. Something has come through. So, according to the Man City website, City versus Real Madrid match has been postponed. It says the Man City's UEFA Champions League fixture at home to Real Madrid has been postponed. The decision to postpone Tuesday's game, sorry, not Wednesday, was made in conjunction with UEFA, following confirmation that players from Real Madrid will self-isolate for 15 days after it emerged that a player from the club's basketball team tested positive for COVID-19. The club sends its best wishes to the players and the staff at Real Madrid's football and basketball teams. Further information regarding the rescheduled date and related ticketing information will follow in due course. So there you have it. I guess I can now officially, because I've literally came in. I did this before about an hour and a half ago. So let me just redo this. And I will just post on here that the Champions League game is officially off. There you go. So the game has been postponed, suspended, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely not going ahead next Tuesday, which only makes sense. Yeah, what worries me more, which is the title of the thumbnail and the heading, was, is the Madrid game on? Well, now we know it's off, but yet the Burnley game is still going on. It's about time the FA and the Premier League started really taking this seriously, not thinking about finances and money, and start thinking about the general public, about the players' safety, the welfare of the staff, the coaching staff, the staff around the club, everything else, because it really does feel like with La Liga and everything suspending games, then the news now that, as we see, the Real Madrid players will be in isolation for 15 days, then there is clearly no chance of any games for the Champions League for us being played in the next 2 weeks. So there you go. But let me just quickly, before I go into other stuff, let me go back and have a look at your comments, because there's loads of you on. So England's finest, hello. Sanjay, I don't want that Real Madrid game to be off. I want it to go on. Why, mate? Why would you possibly want it to go on? Why? Liverpool lose last night. Yeah, they did. Ryan Corrie was out playing darts last night, so I didn't get to see Liverpool getting slapped. I didn't even bother watching it, mate. I'll be honest with you. I saw my lad was watching the last 10, 15 minutes and called me in with about 3 minutes to go, so no interest in it. Sean, don't play the games behind closed doors, suspend the league. That's what they should be doing. UEFA care about money too much. They'll only stop the UEFA Champions League if a player dies or City go through. Not sure about that, but hey. Cal, how are you? Hello, Andy, how are you? Okay, yeah, Mingu Wong, fine. Afternoon, Martin is on. Ryan, Cal, yesterday was in the car, and the guy who went skiing last week in the Alps sneezed. That's a massive W. Massive W or massive L? Hello, Andy Jack Lee. How are you? Think guys realise today small everyday things like using petrol pumps? Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have your sanitizer with you at all times, Martin. The game has been postponed. Yeah, just said that. It's been postponed. Yes, I know. Just said that. Best to call off the game. It's already been called off. Good afternoon, Ivor. How are you? It's definitely off being announced. I know. Just read it out. Health comes first, lads. Absolutely. Ivor, Man City fan, Martin. Hi, pal. I understand, but my lad is very upset. It is what it is, mate. It's one of those things. You have to do something else with him. Ivor, hi, Carl. Teresa Shepherd, definitely off, said Tot Sport. Yes, just read that out. Sorry, I'm just going back over your comments that you probably already heard me say it's off. Sorry about your lad, Martin. Hope he feels okay. Nerve Champions League will continue. Ryan, the mother isn't allowed to go into work for 2 weeks because she has underlying health problems after her cancer treatment. She's already annoyed about not being allowed in work. I know, mate, but you've got to think about, long-term effects. The season's Champions League is gone. Not going to happen. I don't think it will. Cody, man, suspended UEFA Champions League. Lankow, 4 Premier League clubs have had scares with this virus. Surely this is enough for the Premier League to take notice and do something. Well, yeah, you'd think so. You would absolutely think so. Because as it stands right now, 3 players who have apparently contracted COVID-19, if that is the rumours are true, are Leicester players and gone into isolation. Who those players are, I have no idea. But it starts affecting players. Not only does it affect the players, it affects everybody else they've come into contact with. It affects their family members. It affects everything with it. Hi, Bernard. How are you? You can have him for 10 if you want, Carl. Carl, I love how people are slating Simeone. Just done the double over Klopp. Media calling Simeone a coward, embarrassing. Klopp literally did the same thing against City. The media are so biased. Well, you've got to remember, mate, they won away. They won at home and they won at Anfield. And they scored 3 goals last night. So certainly if you've not read the John Aldridge tweet today, God, the guy's such a bell end. It's like, well, hold on a minute. If they were so poor at attacking and they were so defensive minded with 11 behind the ball, how did they score 3 goals at Anfield last night against you? Imagine if they did actually try. Yo, Waiter saying, how are you? Ivor, to be fair, that Liverpool game was class last night. Great game to watch and brilliant ending. Had 4 screens on the go last night. And my record debt, what a night. When's the Champions League match being rescheduled? No idea. There's nothing we can do now. Martin says we need to realise things are more important than football. It's just a game. This is beyond sport. Conrad Cowan, I understand that health is important, but surely Liverpool deserve to win the league as well. There's talk of playoff, but in my opinion, City do not deserve a shot at that, being 23 points behind. Liverpool haven't amassed. Conrad Cowan, Liverpool have not amassed enough points to be crowned Premier League champions. The season isn't over. It's like saying, surely the likes of Norwich and Villa don't deserve to be relegated, because there's still loads of games to go where they can come out of the relegation zone. Surely Chelsea don't deserve to have 4th place, because the likes of United and Sheffield United and Wolves and others, Spurs, Arsenal, have a chance in the next 8-9 games to overtake Chelsea. So if it was mathematically Liverpool had won the league, I'd have no problems with them being crowned champions. But the problem being is that what happens to the 3 potential promoted teams from the Championship? We're just going to say, oh, well, tough. It is what it is. Well, could they not argue, well, hold on a minute, why are you keeping 3 teams in the bottom 3 in the Premier League? Why do they get an extra 100 million quid or whatever for staying in the Premier League? Why should Liverpool get a title that they've not mathematically won yet? The league is not over. So how can you crown somebody champions and give them the prize money and all the sponsorship sort of revenue that comes with that? How can you give that to somebody who's not mathematically the champions of the Premier League? It's like saying, well, it's January, Liverpool are leading by 5 points, let's just give them the title. Don't make any sense whatsoever. None whatsoever. Carl Blundell, as good as Atletico, they should never have sold Griezmann. Conrad, that's what I'm saying. The league needs to go on somehow. It can't. How does it need to go on? It doesn't need to go on at all. You've got to think about public safety, not for the sake of somebody wanting to claim they've won a trophy. And I'd say that if it was City. I'd honestly say that if it was City going for a back to back to back. It's not about football, it's about the wider issues. And the more it goes on, the more that players keep interacting with each other, the more that fans are allowed to go. I mean, it's like Cheltenham at the moment. How are 30, 40,000 people in Cheltenham allowed to be in such close proximity if it is being transferred at the rate that it's been transferred at? How is that possible? Melbourne, apparently, McLaren and Ferrari have pulled out of the Melbourne Grand Prix, but they're still going to go ahead with it. Why? Why? There's one simple fact, and that is money. It's all about money. So surely it's down to organisations, committees, whatever, putting finances above people's public health and safety. Now, surely it's about time the Premier League and the FA took the hit on this. And if you watch the video I did yesterday, they could potentially lose 3 million per game. Now, it's about time they took the hit on this and think about the bigger scale of things by closing it down for 3, 4, 5 weeks, if so, and then see where it is in 3, 4 weeks' time and reassess it then when we've gone to this phase 2 of delaying the spread of the virus. Because if you just continue, you're telling me that in a crowd of one single game last night, there is not somebody who has COVID-19 and hasn't passed that on at Anfield. Statistically, I guarantee you there will be somebody. One person, 10 people, 15 people, which then transfers to 30, 40, 50 people, who they transfer it then to 30, 40, 50. Before you know it, one game last night being played in front of a crowd where one person might have it and transfers it to 10 people, suddenly becomes 2,000 people infected, who then pass it on to, and this is the problem. They need to get on top of it, and they've been absolutely garbage in the way they've gone about this. They've been really, really poor, very poor, the Premier League and the FA, over this, very weak, and they need to do something about it significantly to stop this spread, or try and contain it or slow it down even. Not going to stop it, but slow it down. Happy Thursday, Kiam's on. Everyone makes more suspicious that VAR was helping them build such a big points gap. There is something to play for in relegation and European race, but arguing Liverpool shouldn't be given the league title is silly. But it's not. But how can you give somebody the title that haven't officially won it? Not silly. So if you give Liverpool the title and then argue that 3 teams should stay or go, they're going to go, hold on a minute, how can you give you're basically, if you think of that comment, Ryan, that you just made, you're basically saying, give Liverpool the title because they've got a point gap, but demote or relegate or keep them in the bottom 3 in the Premier League when they've got a point gap that can still be made up. It doesn't make any sense. You're arguing against your argument. Did they know this was coming? Now, there's a conspiracy for you. Yeah, I do think they knew. Dinar Coots knew in 1981. Hey, Kiam, giving the league title to Liverpool now is ridiculous. Ryan, playoffs behind closed doors to decide top 4. Playoffs are not going to do anything, mate. And why should people go in playoffs? Why should a playoff be given to Chelsea as it stands right now when Sheffield United or United are just very close behind them? Why put them in a playoff? There will be legal challenges to all of this. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. We could still mathematically do the back-to-back-to-back. We could. Blue Moon, can we still win 2 more trophies, but people's health comes first? It does. Australian GP is off. Well, no, according to... Well, it matters. Has that just been announced? Because I just read earlier when I was driving home that... it is on. They've come out and said no. Even if Ferrari and McLaren are coming out of it because of obviously people being infected, it is still going ahead. That was on Sky Sports about 30 minutes ago. So unless something did change their mind again, these early reports from Australia are worrying if it's true this virus could be slightly different. We only mentioned the subject to mutation yesterday. It's the second version found by scientists. England versus Denmark called off. Boom, 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 boom. Kiam, I'm taking this very seriously. I've suspended all FIFA 20 career mode. Funny. Either also, this new version has the ability to bind to healthy human cells. Probably won't have much effect on a healthy person, but it's really worrying for a poorly person. It is, and that's the problem that we talked about last night's second vlog. They haven't amassed 97 points, so why give it them? I agree, Mingy Wong. I care about safety and health, of course, but I wait 30 years for a title. We worked hard for it. I'm for suspending it, but violating. But voiding is the idea, a bit of rivals, nothing more. No, it's not at all. Listen, mate, you wait 30 years for it. How long have City fans waited for theirs? Come on, don't be selfish. Just breaking, mate. Oh, right, so they've changed the mind again. This is the problem with it all. Everything is just changing hourly. Because before this, the update I've got on Sky Sports at the moment says that McLaren withdraw from the Australian GP after a positive virus, and that they are saying that it is still on. So now they've gone back and they've said now it's off. So this goes to show you, I mean, it's just everything is happening so quickly. The GP is off, mate. Okay, so there you go. That is not updated on mine. Let me see, unless it's just come through. But, I mean, there's a prime example. Prime example. Have you seen the links of Man City and Marquinhos? Saw it on Twitter that Man U and City and Liverpool are interested in the Brazilian defender. Would you take him at City? I've no idea, mate. Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't. I'm not too sure. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. I think it's sort of at the moment it's a bit least of our worries. Right, let's have a look at what else we've got coming up. So I said about obviously the Real Madrid players. Obviously La Liga have suspended games as it stands at the moment. So they've been proactive in doing something about this and trying to control, and that's what it's about, or reduce the number of incidents and transferable diseases like COVID-19 spreading across the country in sporting organisations. It's a prudent move. It really makes sense. What have the FA and the Premier League done about it? So far, absolutely nothing. And a few meetings, the games like this weekend, it should already have been suspended. They should already have been called off, postponed, suspended, done, whatever, and then deal with it later. There's no point in being reactive and going, oh, well, we'll just try and make some more money out of this weekend, and then we'll think about it. You only have to look at UEFA. UEFA have come out today and said they're going to call a meeting of European football stakeholders. Now, they go on that they're going to have a video conference call. She's obviously right. Nobody wants to travel across Europe to go and have a face-to-face meeting, not at this time. Well, when did they call it for? March the 17th. Why March the 17th? Why next Tuesday? Why not do it today or tomorrow or tonight? Why wait 5 days to have a face-to-face conference call with these stakeholders to discuss it? What is the point of that? So it doesn't makes no sense whatsoever. UEFA again thinking about money, thinking about finances, thinking about wringing every single bloody euro they can get out of football. And exactly the same as what the Premier League and the FA are doing. Disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. So, yeah, let me go back to your comments rather than me having a rant. Will the competition be cancelled or just postponed, Nippon? I have no idea. Nobody knows at the moment. That's 2 variations of C19 already confirmed. They go either. England versus Denmark will be called off later after Danish FA said they will not allow players to travel from Denmark. Ingy Wong, have you kept that face mask you had? I have. I've still got it. Calbondale, did you see Bernard's goal yesterday against Dortmund? With the hell was that funny defending? No, I haven't, mate. It will become that bad where the government say no sports till the virus dies down. I mean, it's the only way. It's the only way to control it, Cal. Hey, Andy, folk called me deluded only 2 weeks ago for saying this was going to happen. Who's deluded now? Mate, I've been saying it for weeks. I've been saying it for weeks, just like you. Been saying this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing what we're seeing. Like I said, I'm constantly being updated with this every day because of my business. Now, if you yesterday, I said yesterday on the vlog, I think yesterday afternoon's vlog, I said when I did the full Arsenal thing about the cancellation, I said at the moment when I shown the current figures, this would be updated after 2 o'clock in yesterday afternoon. Well, it was, and I think it was 60, was it 64 or 68 more cases. And I said last night's vlog, this will only exponentially increase even further. 68 will become 100, become 200, become, well, I tell you what, there you go. There's the new figures from this afternoon after 2 o'clock. So yesterday, if you look down around the bottom part there, underneath the Netherlands, we now have 590 cases as it stands right now. Well, from yesterday's increase of 64, 68, we've now had an increase overnight of 130. Now, don't be surprised tomorrow when we get an extra update after 2 o'clock, that goes to 190 or 200 or 250. And we'll start getting into the realms, and you can see now why the likes of Italy, Spain, etc. You look at Spain today, 3,003 confirmed cases. That has gone up from yesterday by 726. That's where we're going to be at in the next few days, 3, 4, 5 days. Hopefully not tomorrow and the next day. But the people now are only starting to come out of the last couple of weeks, starting to show symptoms and are being diagnosed. And there'll be still hundreds, maybe thousands of people out there that have contracted this that still haven't been diagnosed and officially diagnosed to add to the actual statistics. So that 130 tomorrow could be 200, could be 250. Saturday could be 300. Sunday could be 500. We're now in the realms of the Germany, 389. Iran up by 1,075. So if you look at these figures, you look at the jumps in numbers, the only countries that have had a higher jump than us are Iran, where, you know, there was originally where it started from, and that was my worry being in Dubai, because there was a lot of transitional Iranians going and toing from Dubai. South Korea only jumped to 114, even though they've got 7,869 cases. So what are they doing to substantially reduce the number of outbreaks? Germany, 2,355. Well, they jumped 389 overnight. France, at the moment, no new stats on France, but I can only assume that that will be a significant increase today. The USA, 1,376, only jumped 75. That will definitely increase as well. But as we know today, Trump has cancelled all flights from Europe into the US, unless you are a British citizen travelling from the UK. Switzerland, 867, has jumped up by 215. Norway, 713, has jumped by 84. If you go down to Sweden, jumped by 135. Denmark, 101. Netherlands, 111. The UK, 130, jumped up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are only 5 countries throughout the world that have jumped more than the UK. And most of those, the likes of Iran, the likes of Spain, the likes of Germany, France, we don't know at the moment. Switzerland have got mainly significantly higher numbers anyway. So this is only going to get worse, people. Hence why, what the hell are the FA and the Premier League doing about this? Why have they not announced that all Premier League games, not played behind closed doors, are suspended? End of story. Send everybody home and keep people from large groups isolated. It's madness, absolute madness. But anyway, let's go back. Have you kept? Yeah, I have. Where was it? Potentially the Euros could be off in the summer, I guess. Well, like I said, if you watched the vlog last night, that's another thing. You know, Sefron coming out, turning around and saying that the Euros are definitely going ahead. How he can make that particular statement is beyond me. Then news also broke, rumours were, that Sefron had actually approached Inter Milan and Roma as you know, who are in Champions League and Europa League competitions, and asked them to play the games in neutral territories like Poland and other places, and they refused. So his next question to them was, well, then we want you to withdraw from the competition so we can continue with it. Did I not tell you what UEFA are? Money. All about money. Not about human lives or anything like that. Just money. Simple as that. I mean, it's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. So, I tweeted, you might have seen it on Twitter, Gary Neville posted about why we can't just cancel the Euros now and play next year. And I said to Gary Neville on Twitter, I said, well, hold on a minute, that's going to be an interesting discussion, because next year, 2021, you've got the FIFA Club World Championships that FIFA have put on for 24 clubs to compete in next summer in their big sort of new competition. What? And now UEFA want to now invade that and play the Euros next year, potentially. But they're already at loggerheads over finances. There's no way FIFA are going to give up that for the Euros. So that's going to create a load of problems as well. So it would just be prudent and sensible to just say, right, everything stops. We're not going to discuss this again for another month or two. We'll look and see what happens. The Euros we can plan ahead for are cancelled. That's it. Because clearly there is no way now City can rearrange 4 games. There's no way they can. And then there's more games to play if City were to go through and other teams go through and things like that in the Champions League. So this, is not going to end. It is not going to end. So the prudent move would be to just cancel games. End of. Put everything to a point whereby that they can look at it, make a sensible, prudent overview of what's happening on a daily basis, and then reconvene in 3 weeks, 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, and then assess where it's at and then make a decision in the future as to what's going on. But you could quite easily cancel the Euros now, knowing that domestic leagues could potentially finish if the COVID-19 virus is contained, could potentially finish their domestic seasons and Champions League and everything else in the summer, or May, June, July, for example. But there isn't. It's conflicting because UEFA won't want that because they're going to lose out loads and loads of money. So it's a mess. It's an absolute mess because they haven't had the bollocks to actually make a difficult decision, and that's what they should have been doing. I can say I've not been well recently, but I've been testing. Get yourself tested, mate. The experts still can't agree on the impact of carriers, folk who show no symptoms and don't actually get poorly, but can spread the virus in any ordinary flu. This can be up to 20%. This is the problem, is that even if you've got it, but you're showing no signs of it, you could still easily pass it on. You'd be a carrier. 200,000 at the races, yeah, it's madness. I don't leave the house, so I'll be fine. We know that. I think you do. You go to darts and everything. If the Euros get cancelled, I couldn't be happy. I can't stand England being poor. No one has ever mentioned Africa yet. I'll wait until this hits. Africa, boom. Well, that's another point. Once it's Africa, it'll make Ebola look like the face you pull after you hit your funny bone. Yeah, I mean, it's frightening. It is frightening. Is there anything else I was going to talk about? Yeah, this was from, it was last night and updated this morning. This was from the Daily Mail. And this was, I think his name was it Daniel Davis? I do want to quote him, Daniel Davis, yeah. And he said the headline was, every football game in England will be held behind closed doors with no games to be shown in pubs and matches to be streamed live to ticket holders. Our plan could be implemented as early as Thursday. But today's Thursday and nothing has so far happened as it stands at this moment in time. Obviously, there's a COBRA meeting. If you don't know what COBRA is, it's the Cabinet Office Briefing Room A, often referred to as COBRA, and that's where the meetings are held with the likes of the Prime Minister, the Home Secretary, and then all the things like Scotland Yard and policing and ambulance services and things like that. And they're apparently right now in a meeting to discuss this very thing. Now, why the FA and the Premier League can't just be sensible about this and not think about money? I have no idea. But should it be played behind closed doors? Well, I don't think players want it behind. Every player that I've listened on Talk Sport and others saying it's a nightmare, it's horrendous. Nobody wants to play it. Why would you want to play a game behind closed doors? What is the point of it? To finish the season, maybe, but then are you not putting other players at risk potentially if they've not been tested? Do all players have to be tested before games can go ahead? What's happening with the Burnley game at the weekend? Is that going ahead? We don't know. I'm staying away from this disease until further notice. Mingy Wong, this is a problem, mate. No one knows where it is, and not everyone gets poorly. Absolutely. Not everybody gets poorly, and that is the problem with it. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? No, I think that's pretty much everything. So, as it stands at the moment, the game next week, next Tuesday, the Champions League game has been postponed. So what's going to happen next? God knows. I mean, certainly Real Madrid players are going to go into 15 days of isolation. Nothing can possibly happen for the next 15 days anyway. By then, things could have changed dramatically. You only have to look at the figures that I keep posting on here with the worldometer. Decisions may already have been made by then to suspend football and sporting events across the world until it can be assessed and move to the next stage, which is the stage 2 of delaying the spread of the virus. So we'll wait and see. I just find it's Thursday today. It's Thursday afternoon. It's nearly 5 o'clock. The FA, there are games going on this weekend. The FA have still yet to make a confirmed decision as to what is going on with it. And if they continue to go, well, we'll play it behind closed doors, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. I mean, it's just weak, absolutely weak. And all they're doing is contributing to the potential spread of this potential virus, or of this virus, not potential virus. If we want to get this virus out of Europe, surely we should just ask Atletico Madrid for help. Very good, Ryan. Football stadiums can't open themselves. They need dozens of staff. Absolutely. It's not, like we said yet last night, it's not just about the players, not just about general public. It's about the staff that have to be around there. I mean, there's thousands that at the Etihad that have to be there to open up, to lock up, to do entertainment, to do food, to do drinks, to do anything, selling programs. I mean, programs being handed over, money being transferred between people, cash. It's debit cards. If it's not, why? I can't think now. If it's not a wireless transaction, as in scanning your card, then you put your card into a machine. You have to press buttons. Go to a cash machine around the area, around where Asda is and other places. You're pressing buttons. I mean, it's madness. It's absolute madness. Yes, I would totally understand either. Maybe hundreds of people may be affected of it. Shadow, they are people I know they get paid a lot, but that's obscene. I personally think they should play the last 10 games in May, every 3 days, just to get it done, and Champions League games in June to finish that. Problem being is that with that, Shadow, I mean, we don't know. This is the problem. Yes, it seems to cancel everything now is the prudent move, but then we don't know what's going to happen in May. We don't know where this is going to go. Hopefully it might be contained then, and then Champions League games in June. Well, what about the Euros? By all accounts, as it stands at the moment, if the Euros were to continue, City potentially, if they got to the final and other things, they'd literally be playing the last game and going straight away to the Euros with no break whatsoever, none whatsoever. So last night though, no handshake, but players spitting through the whole game. They can't cancel the league, can't have Kiam winning the predictions. Well, if they cancel it, you won't win it because it's just been null and void like everything else. Kiam gets a soft teddy bear for winning the predictions league. Either should a ref be forced to ref a game? Surely it's up to them. And when the unions get involved, it all gets cranked up again. Can't force officials to expose themselves. JV, how convenient for Real. If that's the case, not let the results stand and not play a second leg. But it's not going to happen, that, mate, is it? We're sort of trying to say that, you can't give somebody a trophy for not amassing enough points to win the Premier League, and you can't relegate people when there's still games to go, and you can't force teams to give up another leg because of a virus that's forcing teams into isolation. I mean, what they're doing is they're being in isolation is following the government rules and guidelines that have been given for it. So they're actually doing the sensible thing. Man City 1894, Andy, please Corona my Morona. Boris Johnson is to decide if schools and colleges to close. Yeah, well, you only have to look now in Ireland, Republic of Ireland today, they've closed all colleges, schools, care centres, things like that today. They've done that. Phyllis says, J Viva, how's this convenient for anyone? I don't understand. Ryan, doesn't matter, Cal, you never seem to be there anyway. Yeah, my predictions are going a bit wrong recently, so I think we should scrap the league. He's worried. That Bernard's coming for him. A ref exposing himself. Depends on how big his whistle is. Alex Crick, spread won't magically stop for at least 3 months. Closed door matches are the answer. I agree. Well, no, closed doors, not matches. I don't believe why have no fans at a stadium, but allow players to and staff and everything else to be in the environment. Why do that? It's not just about the general public. It's about the players and the staff and people who work at stadiums and things like that. It's about their health as well. So why expose them? For greed, for money. Are they still in that meeting, Cobra meeting thing? I believe so. I mean, I've not heard anything. I'm not there, so I can't tell you. I'm not next to Boris. So I can't really comment on whether they're there or they're not. They might already have had the meeting. They might still be in the meeting. I'm not sure. The Premier League refs are a virus. Me and Bernard closed the gap a fair bit at the weekend. Right, there you go. Other than that, there's not really much else. Not much else to update you on. It's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. And until the Premier League and the FA grow some bollocks and actually, make a real firm decision on this, and probably the government forces the FA and the Premier League to make a real prudent decision on this, then this is only going to get worse. It's going to become messier. It's going to have more of an impact. The more we delay this and go, oh well, we can play this weekend and let's see what it's like. Well, if you're that thick that you think, oh well, playing this weekend's games and let's have a look at the figures. Well, I'm showing you the figures daily. They are exponentially increasing significantly. Nothing's going to change by playing games this weekend. All that means is that you're going to have fans if they allow fans in, or you're going to have staff and people who work at stadiums and things like that, bus drivers, coach staff, tram drivers, blah, 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 coming into contact with other people. People going in, oh, well, we'll go into the city centre and watch it. Well, are the pubs going to play it? Are they not? Are they going to? I mean, it's just a nightmare. They just cancelled it. It would stop all of this potential, oh, well, we'll illegal stream it in our pub and we'll do this and come in and let's make some money on this and that type of thing. Just stop it. Full stop. Don't expose anybody to it and reassess it in a few weeks' time. But anyway, we have to remember that at the moment, the UK's big unions have kept quiet on the matter. As soon as they get involved, you may struggle to catch a bus or buy a loaf of bread. I've been self-isolating for years. Andy, have you seen how much hand gel is selling for? I haven't, mate, because I bought a load of it. My wife messaged me when I was in Dubai and said, bring some more back. And at the airport, they were like 40 pence each. So I just went, there was a big tub of them, about that much, in one of the shops. And I just went, I'll have all of them. And they just emptied it all into a bag. So I've got loads of them. So I don't need to buy any. So yeah, I'm sure this is the thing. People will profiteer from these type of things. So if you see any, grab some and keep it on your person. Carl Xbox, you big knob. Cal, Bernard, the coronavirus will stop predictions. You're not catching Kiam. Matty 91. I work for Man City as a match day program seller and affect my wage as well. Yes, it will, mate. I totally get that. And you know, you're not the only person whose wages are being affected, mate. I run a business, an aviation business, and mine's being affected all over Europe. So I'd love nothing more than this not to be here, but it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. I know Tony. I buy all my programs off Tony on Joe Mercer Way. So yes, I'm sorry about that, but that is just a byproduct of something that we're facing now, which we have to be selfless about and not think about ourselves and think about the transmission and potentially us contracting it, passing it to others, and that exponentially being passed on to other people, where people might die because of it. Not you. You might be fit and healthy, but you could pass it on to somebody else who isn't fit and healthy and could die from it. So it's about being sensible. It's about being adult, grown up, and prudent about this. So I apologise if you might lose some money out of that, mate. I do, but it is what it is. I think many people, unless you're selling toilet roll or you're selling hand sanitizer or something like that, people are losing money out of this. But, you know, we have to suck it up. Carl, I'm always the bridesmaid though throughout my life. I'm going to self-isolate this weekend on a ski slope. Enjoy that, mate. Shadow Rundown, I went Asda before and the store's half empty. Shadow, it always is. Did you really buy 10,000 toilet rolls? No, did I? I was joking yesterday, mate. Got loads of toilet rolls, don't need them. But my wife is going to call it Costco again tonight. I don't know what she's buying though. I don't think it's toilet rolls. I've got a whole bloody cupboard full of them. Off topic, but I really hate Ross Barkley. Do you? Why do you hate him? Pure alcohol is really cheap and 10 times more effective. Hey, I'm surprised you've not got one bubbling away in your man shed, mate. How's White Lightning? Don't waste White Lightning. God, that takes me back to a kid. White Lightning. Kiam, I bought a 6-pack of German beer. Will that do either? No, definitely not for your hands. Imagine all that yeast and everything. They're all sticky. Why waste money on toilet roll when you can buy alcohol instead? I use it to fix my air pants, pal. Your air paints. Oh yeah. Nothing is better. Just use some leaves or a towel. Oh God. Doesn't break down oils as well though. I think the biggest clubs in each city should throw a massive charity game when this is nearly over to help fund the money for these lower clubs. I agree. I mean, there's got to be something. And the FA, let's face it, the Premier League and the FA make enough money that they should be able to support lower league clubs to get through these hard times. And the clubs should all be doing their own thing for staff. I know there are going to be potentially some emergency plans in place by the government to assist people and small businesses and things like that. So hopefully that will spread across. And, you know, at the end of the day, if they can spend billions upon billions upon billions on Trident and everything else, sure they can filter some of that money into businesses and, you know, people at the front line. Sun Newspaper plus others does the job. Kiam MCFC, I might make you feel better. Stay safe out there. Best wishes from the States. You too, J Viva. The sun belongs on a fire. It does. Right, guys, listen, that's it for today. It's just an update on what's going on. So as we know, the City game on Tuesday night versus Real Madrid has been postponed. What happens next? Nobody knows. What's going to happen? The next thing will be what happens. What are the Premier League and the FA going to do about this weekend's games? Is the City game against Burnley going ahead? If it goes ahead, is it going to be behind closed doors? Nobody seems to know. And we are 48 hours away from the game. Surely the FA and the Premier League need to be doing far more, and need to be held accountable to be showing a proactive stance with regards to this. Just like every other most of the major football organisations across Europe have done already. The FA and the Premier League are just sitting on their hands again because it's about money, just like UEFA, and it's wrong, absolutely wrong. So get your shit together, the FA and the Premier League. Sort this out, not only for the fans, but the players, the staff, the people who work at stadiums, etc., because it's wrong, plain and simple. I also put my head in microwave power twice because everything. Cheers, Andy and guys. Have a great night. Has this ever happened before? No, Well, not in football in terms, I don't think. But anyway, listen, have a wonderful, safe evening. This is Andy from Man City Fan TV. If there's any breaking news, any real breaking news that comes out in the next few hours and things like that, then I'll come back and do a quick live vlog, or Martin might do a live vlog because he couldn't come on because he's still got a few issues with his Wi-Fi. So he might do a vlog on his phone later. But we'll keep an eye on what's going on. And as always, every day, we'll bring you all the latest news and things like that. Don't forget, if you've not checked out the videos yesterday, certainly the one yesterday afternoon that I still today, I still can't work out. I have asked journalists and things like that, why was the Arsenal game postponed last night? Nobody wants to answer, or nobody seems to have an idea, a real idea as to why. So I'll keep digging around about that and see if I can find out anything more with regards to it. So I doubt I'll be flying back in May. I doubt you will be, Kiam. At this rate, I doubt you will be. I'm not sure. What was the let me just see. Canada. Is Canada on here? Let me just have a quick look. Or was it down? It was down near the bottom, I think, Canada. Let me just have a quick look. Canada today. Where are you? Oh, God, this is now updated with so many new. We've got Vatican cities, we've got Togo, we've got Mongolia, we've got Bhutan, Ukraine, Nepal, Jordan, Saint Martin. Let me go back. Where is Canada? Canada as it stands right now. Oh, maybe Canada have removed their facts and figures. They don't want anybody knowing. No, I'm only kidding. Canada was 118. It's now gone up. Yeah, it's gone up to 118. So it's gone up by 8. But your figures will potentially be posted later on this evening rather than right now. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Thank you for coming on. Stay safe. Apply the usual precautions. Wash your hands. If you touch anything, if you're out and about, if you're in a supermarket, something, wash them afterwards. If you've come into contact with machines, ATMs, things like that. And yeah, we'll be back at some point giving you more updates. But anyway, take care. Have a great evening. Like I said, if anything breaks, anything major breaks, like the FA and the Premier League finally get off their arse and do something about it and be proactive and stop being greedy bastards, then what we'll do is we'll come back and do another live vlog. But anyway, take care. We'll see you soon.